Hi. I want you to imagine if you were driving a car and you had to get out of the car about every 2 feet and move big rocks out of the way. And what if you couldn't get to the rocks because they started to move around on you and you couldn't grab them? And then you had to move the rock over, put it safely away before it starts vibrating again, and then get back in your car and move forward. It would take you a really long time to get to your destination. That's sort of what's going on right now in the bloodstream. Between 1860 and 1940, approximately, they were putting electricity in all of the walls of the homes for the first time. And since we're mostly water, our cells had to figure out how to work under different conditions, how to work with a different frequency. So if you're working in the rain, it's going to be very different than if you're working in the sunshine doing something outside. You're going to have to adapt. You're going to have to gather some things that you need in order for that to work, in order for you to be effective at whatever you're trying to accomplish. Well, things in each cell need to grab different parts to use as energy. And each cell has a certain amount of finite energy. And then it gets more things, more resources in order to build more energy. Now, when we're eating foods that the body doesn't recognize, the body has to work a lot harder and it has to try to figure out what to do with those foods. So that takes energy. It has to figure out, well, where does this go? Where does that go? And what the heck is this anyway? And then with that, where normally the body digests, grabs this nutrient, grabs that one, and says, okay, I can use this here, I can use that there, and then it starts to use it as support for all of its functions, and then it goes and heals anything that might be growing or doing stuff that it's not supposed to be doing in the body. And that's what it uses with its extra energy. But with processed foods and things that the body doesn't recognize, or toxins, whereas if an organic vegetable or fruit goes in and it's supposed to deliver good things, instead it's delivering toxins. So then it needs to find something to use to clean those up and then bring them down through to some of the filters. We're very, it's a simple machine. I know that it seems like it's complicated, and in many ways it's extremely complex, but it's also at the same time very simple. We have roads and tubes. I'm calling the tubes roads. And we have pumps and we have filters, and it's pretty straightforward. We're not necessarily working with it the way that it needs to be worked with. So right now, we've got, so I started to tell you between 1860 and 1940, they were putting electricity in all of the walls. So when the stuff in the cells wants to grab oxygen or grab the things that it needs in the cells to use to go do its functions, all of its functions, not just one, it's not just for this function and for this part of the body, it's for everything to work, because everything works together. And one thing supports another thing that supports another thing. So if one thing is leaning on another, then that'll lean on something else, and then it'll lean more on something else. And then at the end you say, oh, my whatever hurts. But that was 5 systems down the line, or 5 issues down the line, and you're not really addressing the thing that started it in the first place. And since we've compartmentalized the body so much, it's not necessarily the way to look at it in our best interests. Okay, so right now, what they found with 5G, with the new frequency that now we're dealing with, just like they did then, and during around 1860 to 1940, that's about how long it took to do all the houses, they interestingly had the Spanish flu at the same time. We adapt. We are living in divine machines. We adapt pretty well, but we need to have support in order to do that. And also knowledge, information is very, very helpful here. And the information we're being given, I'm really trying not to attack anybody or any belief system or any information, let's say, because then everybody gets wrapped up in that rather than, hey, let's do what works. Let's do something that is going to help, you know? All right. So what's happening now with the 5G? Because now we're vibing at a different frequency. So not hippie vibe, actual, our cells are actually having a hard time with a different frequency that we're living in. And this 5G goes through the body a little bit easier. So all kinds of things are happening. There's patents for these things. You can look into it. What's going on is the oxygen in each cell is spinning like a tornado. Come here, Levy. Spinning out of control. Do you want to say hi? Since you keep getting... Say hello. Hello. So it's spinning out of control and in the opposite direction. It's going... I believe it's going counterclockwise. So as the components in the cells that are needing this oxygen in order to perform its functions are trying to grab it, it can't. So hence the example of we're stopping the car and having to move rocks out of the way in order to get down the road. So the blood is trying to go through these canals, through these tubes, through these roads, and it's unable to do so very fast. So what we've got is a whole bunch of blood clotting issues. Blood clotting issues are what's happening. So what'll help that? Well, cayenne pepper and lemon water, and a lot of it, drinking that stuff. It clears the road. It clears the road from things that have been building in your body for your whole life. So that's going to help. We need to give support to the body so that the body can start to adapt and deal with what's happening. It's not necessarily a good thing, but every time something dangerous is introduced to us, our bodies adapt. We're amazing. We're living in a divine miracle of a machine. So I want you to be healthy, and I want you to love yourself, and I want you to be smart. So let's think. When you have taken antibiotics in your life, that has wiped out all of the good bacteria that's used to eat all of the bad things and keep your immune system going. It's what keeps us healthy. When we clog our lymph with lotions and all kinds of things and bad foods, then the lymph can't carry the trash out. It's like it's the trash man part of it. There's a lot of systems to handle waste in our body. So we need to support those. We need to help the trash get out. And the way to do that is to eat foods that your body understands. And right now, to drink turmeric tea with black pepper in it, to drink lemon water, organic lemon water with cayenne in it, because it's blasting through everything. Drink probiotics, that's kombucha. If you can make your own, that's best. Sauerkraut, you can take the kind in pills, whatever's going to get you some probiotics. Look into making it. All of these things you can make yourself. What that's going to do is that's going to stop things from starting. Now, if we can get the blood moving quickly and effectively through the body, that's your road system. So if the trucks can't go from here, from point A to point B to bring the supplies that we need, there's a problem. Same thing in the body. It's really simple. So we need to get the stuff from here to there. And the way that we get it from here to there is the blood. So the blood's carrying nutrients and it's picking them up along the way, and it's got to be able to communicate with each cell and get what it needs. And right now, the game got changed on everything. So it's like, what's going on? And it's having some trouble. So people are getting sick and they're getting, let's say, information that furthers somebody else's agenda. That's not necessarily in our best interest, because it's not in our best interest to be on a bunch of drugs. And it's not in our best interest to be doing a lot of the things that we're doing right now. But because we want to do the right thing, and because we want to say that we know things and we're listening, if someone's considered smart, is it because they're regurgitating a bunch of information that they've heard? Or is it because they're assimilating on their own some information here and there in their own experiences? So that's a talk for another time. Basically, I want you to know to please drink some ginger turmeric tea with black pepper. Ginger, ginger, ginger is awesome for you. Just cut up ginger or get some powdered organic ginger and put it in some hot water and drink it. And it's going to help so much. These things will give support to the body. Eat clean foods. Drink clean water. Don't drink water in those little piddly plastic things, bottles that you get at the store. The water is leaching. It's getting contaminated with the plastic. So don't do that. Get a good filter and put water in maybe glass bottles or glass little jars that you got from something or other. Maybe from drinking, some tea that you got from the store, a little glass jar, or a good, the kind that are made, the good plastic that's much thicker, that's made to be safe. I don't know. I know that there's safe plastic. I just really don't like drinking out of plastic at all or doing much out of plastic. I use glass as much as I can or ceramic. So please, get a jug of your own of water. Certainly don't drink water after it's been in the plastic and in your car, because once it's heated, all kinds of stuff happens then. So that's not good. Don't do that. And don't just listen to the television or to, like, some politician. It's not in their best interest for you to be safe and brilliant and healthy. I'm not going to go off on that tangent. What I want you to do is drink clean water. Filter out the fluoride and all of the gross stuff. Drink turmeric tea, drink ginger tea. If you want, drink turmeric ginger tea. I used to chop up a whole bunch of turmeric and ginger really, really fine, because when you grate it, it seems to get lost in the grater. But if you chop it up real fine and you put it in a pot, you put some good water in the pot, reverse osmosis, or if you have good well water that you've tested and you know that it's good, because pesticides have been used in a lot of the land, so well might not be the greatest thing. You want to get that tested and find out. So I used to put it in a big pot with a lot of water, and I would boil it every day and add some and change it maybe once a week. And I had a continuous tea on the stove. Now this depends on the temperature where you're living and how often you boil it. I probably boiled mine 3 or 4 times a day, and this is what I was drinking. You can put it in the refrigerator, drain it out, drain the plant matter out, put it in the refrigerator. Lemon with cayenne as much as you can stand, a little pinch of cayenne in there, and you can put some stevia, real stevia. And by the way, raw stevia is green. So I don't know why it's white in the store and it says raw stevia. I've had raw stevia. It came from a plant. You dry the leaf and it's green. You do the thing, and then you've got green powdered stevia raw. Okay. Anyway, try to read the ingredients that you're buying, because those are poisons. Just because you can eat it doesn't make it food. And just because they're selling it in the food aisle and calling it food doesn't make it food either. You can eat the wall. That doesn't mean you should, and it doesn't mean that that's food. Okay. So turmeric ginger tea. Lemon water with cayenne, good organic lemons, because citrus really absorbs the pesticides. So you want to get organic lemons. And probiotics. So kombucha, sauerkraut, and there's lots of other ways that you can get probiotics, but those are 2 really good ones. Taking a spoonful of sauerkraut with all of your food. And what this is going to do is it's going to be like a little helper to get the rocks out of the way when you're driving down the road. It's not going to get rid of the rocks, because this is happening. This is in our world. This is something we're dealing with now. But we can get a little bit of support. So maybe a little machine to knock those rocks out of the way, and then we can move down the road. The blood can move through the body easier and bring nutrients where it needs to go, and we can all get through this. Okay? Okay. Thank you. And somebody loves you. I promise I do. I love the essence of you, and I want you to do well. And my agenda, because everybody has one, is that you feel better and you're informed for real and thinking on your own. Okay. You have an awesome day, night, whatever you're having. Okay. My name is Robin. Bye-bye.